Oh, there are so many yummy vegetarian options out there. You could try like lentil soup, veggie burgers, tofu stir fry. The possibilities are endless.
Hello and welcome. Today we're going to tackle one of the most foundational business structures out there, the standard partnership. On one hand, it offers an absolutely incredible amount of flexibility, letting you craft an agreement that fits your specific situation like a glove. But on the other hand, it comes with a massive hidden danger that could put everything you've worked for at risk. So let's get into it.
All right, here's our game plan. First, we're going to pin down exactly what a partnership is. Then we'll look at its greatest strength, that super flexible agreement. After that, we'll expose its biggest weakness, something called unlimited liability. And finally, don't worry, we'll cover a really smart strategy to protect yourself from that risk. Okay, let's start at square one. Before we get into the pros and cons, what actually is a partnership in the eyes of the law?
So the textbook definition is a relationship between entities, and those entities can be people or they can be corporations who are carrying on a business together with the shared goal of turning a profit. The two key phrases here are carrying on a business, which implies it's an ongoing thing, and with a view to profit, meaning you're in it to share the final net result.
Now, this is where folks often get a bit confused. A partnership is not the same as a joint venture. A joint venture is usually for a one-off project, like two companies teaming up to build a single shopping mall. It's also not co-ownership, which is just when you and someone else own an asset together, like a piece of land. A true partnership is a continuous, ongoing business.
And that brings us to what is, without a doubt, the single greatest advantage of a partnership: the agreement itself. This document is the source of all its power and flexibility.
You can think of any solid partnership agreement as being built on three fundamental pillars. First, what does each partner bring to the table? Second, who's in charge and how are decisions made? And third, how do you slice the pie when it comes to profits and losses? Let's take a look at each of these.
First up, contributions. And this is not just about cash. Of course, a partner can contribute capital, but they can also contribute their time, their effort, their special expertise, or even physical assets like a building or intellectual property like a patent. This means you can have a partner who brings incredible value without investing a single cent.
Next, let's talk about management. Now, this is where a partnership really separates itself from, say, a corporation. In a corporation, your power is typically tied to how many shares you own. Not here. In a partnership, it's completely customizable. You could give a partner who only has a 10% financial stake complete veto power over major decisions. It's totally up to you.
And finally, we have the sharing of profits and losses. Once again, this does not have to be tied to how much capital someone put in. The agreement can be structured to reward a partner for their unique skills or for taking on the day-to-day management. So, that partner who didn't contribute any capital, they could absolutely be entitled to a huge chunk of the profits. So when you see a 60-40 split, remember, that number rarely tells the whole story. And this visual really drives the point home. The partners themselves can be any combination of entities. In diagram A, you've got two individuals. In B, you see an individual partnering up with a corporation. And in C, it's two corporations forming a partnership. The flexibility is just immense. But all this flexibility comes at a very steep price. All right, so we've talked up all the good stuff. Now it's time to face the music and talk about the partnership's dark side. And believe me, it is a big one: the hidden trap of unlimited liability. This quote right here cuts right to the bone. What it's saying is that your personal risk, your liability, isn't just limited to the money you put in. It isn't even limited to your percentage of ownership. For all intents and purposes, your risk is infinite. The legal term for this nightmare scenario is joint and several liability, and you absolutely need to understand what it means. It means if the partnership racks up a $2 million debt, a creditor can come after any one partner for the entire $2 million, not just their 50% share, and you can bet your bottom dollar they're going to go after the partner with the deepest pockets. Let me be perfectly clear here. This means your personal assets are on the table. Your house, your car, your life savings, everything. A standard partnership does not act as a legal shield between the business's problems and your personal wealth. You are completely exposed. So, after hearing that, you're probably thinking, why on earth would anyone choose this structure? Well, here's the thing. There is a way to get all that great flexibility we talked about without the catastrophic risk. It just takes a little bit of smart corporate engineering. So, This is the puzzle we need to solve, right? How do we get the best of both worlds? How can we enjoy all that amazing flexibility while building a wall around ourselves to protect us from that terrifying unlimited liability? Take a look at the top half of this diagram. This is the problem laid out visually. We have a high-risk structure. Two corporations, A and B, enter a 50-50 partnership. But look at their net worths. Corporation B is worth $8 million, while Corporation A is only worth $1 million. Because of joint and several liability, Corporation B has 8 times more to lose if things go south. Think about it. If the partnership gets hit with a massive lawsuit, it could completely wipe out the smaller Corporation A. And then what happens? The creditors will turn their attention to the much richer Corporation B to collect the rest of the debt, potentially causing devastating financial damage. But now, look at the bottom half of the diagram. Here is the elegant solution, the low-risk structure. Instead of partnering directly, corporations A and B each set up a brand new, separate holding company. It's these small holding companies that become the actual partners. They act as a firewall, shielding the valuable parent corporations from any danger. So, how do you build this corporate shield? It's actually a pretty simple process. Step 1. Create those dedicated holding companies. Step 2, put money into them, but only the exact amount needed for the partnership investment and nothing more. Step 3, have these new holding companies become the official partners. And that's it. Your liability is now capped at whatever little net worth is sitting inside those small holding companies. The advantages here are just huge. Your main valuable parent corporations are totally safe. Your risk is strictly limited to the cash you put into that little holding company. And here's a great tax bonus. Profits can flow from the partnership to the holding company and then up to the parent company as tax-free intercorporate dividends. The pro move is to constantly sweep profits out of the holding company to keep its net worth and thus its risk exposure as low as possible. So, at the end of the day, the standard partnership is a powerful but two-edged sword. It offers this incredible, unmatched flexibility in how you run your business and share your success, but that comes with the very real danger of unlimited liability. We've seen that with some clever structuring, you can build a shield and protect yourself. The question you have to ask is, considering this trade-off between power and risk, is this the right tool for your next venture?